Hey, we made it 7 weeks. Technically, by the time I filmed this, it's been more than 7 weeks. But we gonna do a 7 week follow up. Technically, it's a couple days after 7 weeks. We haven't reached 8 weeks yet, so we're still good. Uh, and pretty much everything's the same. So, uh, nothing's really changed that I can think of. The pain that I got that one day, uh, where it just felt like someone was pushing on my eyes. Oh my gosh, that hurt. But oddly enough, it never came back. So it went away, and then I've had a little bit of pain to where it feels like my eyes hurt, but not the amount of pain that I got that day. So luckily, that was a one-time thing, at least for now. Uh, and oddly enough, the eye drops have actually started to improve. Finally. So, we we're supposed to be every 5 hours right now. And we're actually at the point where I can go 2 to 5 hours. I can actually go 5 hours. It's getting to the point where I actually forget that I need to take eye drops. uh, and uh, I'll I'll be doing something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I haven't taken eye drops in how long? And then I have to like count down and figure out, is it time? Have I gone over the time? And I've gone over the time a couple times now. Not like majorly over time, by like usually by like an hour uh, longer than it was supposed to be, which is something that I couldn't do before. So before, like, I constantly needed eye drops well before it was time. Like, I was trying to force myself to wait the amount of time uh, because I didn't want to be draining through my eye drops so fast. So, yeah. But now I'm actually like to the point where I can take the eye drops as recommended instead of having to take them way sooner. So that's good. We're 7 weeks in and we finally are taking the eye drops as recommended. I do still have pain, but it's a little bit. It just feels like someone's like lightly pressing on my eye all the time, but uh, it's not like super painful. It's not something that is really bothering. It's just annoying. So I can ignore it. Uh, and before that would have gradually, well, actually quickly turned into like super painful and pushing on eyes, like all that stuff. But now it's actually just there, and then most of the time I actually forget about it because I've just learned to ignore it. So 7 weeks in, and we are finally starting to return to normal. Uh, so we're about to hit our 8th week, and the 8th week is when they basically say you can stop taking the eye drops. So we only got a couple days left. Well, several days left. Uh, at this point, before we completely stop taking the eye drops. I don't know if I'm going to completely stop taking them or if I'm just going to drop down to once every 6 hours. Uh, but I'm hoping I can just drop down or just completely stop taking them. But I'll try to completely stop taking them and see how that turns out. And then if it turns out that I can't just completely stop taking them, then uh, I'll drop down to either every 6 hours or just when needed. So whenever it starts hurting, I'll take them. But other than that, I'll try not to take them uh, and let my eyes naturally do their thing. But other than that, everything is still the same. Uh, I still have floaters, which are super annoying. Uh, they still come into view all the time. I wish there was an easy way to get rid of them, but there isn't. So there's one way you can get rid of them, which is to go to a doctor and they stick a needle in your eye and they suck out all the stuff that the floaters float in. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's basically the fluid that fills up your eyeball. And that's where the floaters like float around in. So they suck all that fluid out, put an air bubble in your eye to keep your eye where it should be. Because once the fluid is all sucked out, like your eye looks like flat and like caved in. So they put an air drop or air bubble in there to make your eye kind of full. And then your eye naturally just regenerates all that fluid over time, uh, and your eye goes back to normal, but without the floaters. So there's that, but it's risky. Since you're sucking all the fluid out, something can go wrong, and your eye is like looks like it's caved in until the fluid comes back, and it's according to everything online, it just poses a lot of risk because you're literally taking all the fluid out. Uh, but so I won't go with that. But that is one. That's the only way I can that I know of to get rid of the floaters. So we're gonna have to live with the floaters permanently, which is super annoying. But we're getting used to it. I still have the halos around headlights. So if I'm driving at night, still see a big old halo around the light bulb until the car is right about to pass me, and then the halo disappears and I actually see the light. Uh, that's annoying. That's getting super annoying. Uh, it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So, hopefully, within the next 6 months, that actually, well, the next 4 months, it's already been almost 2 months. So, in the next 4 months, that goes away, but I don't know. I might have to get a special kind of glasses or something to drive at night so that I can actually drive, especially on 2 lane roads where it's one lane coming this way and other going that way, uh, and you can't look away from the vehicle. uh, then yeah, that's super annoying because on highways they're right over here, so I can just be like, okay, pay attention to my lane, don't pay attention to theirs until they pass, and everything will be good. But on 2 lane roads, you can't do that. Like you pay attention no matter where you look at your lane, you're staring directly at their headlights. Uh, and it's super annoying because you don't just see a halo, it completely blurs out the headlight depending on how bright it is. Some it doesn't do it. I don't know why, but it's the brightness. So the brighter it is, the more blurry and halo it gets. Uh, so if there's like a dim light, then it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But if it's a bright light, it uh, is completely blurry, and the amount of light coming in basically makes your eyes hurt super bad to the point where you want to rip them out. You want anything like you're at the point where you're willing to crash the car just to get the uh, car that's passing you to pass you faster, like just so you don't see their headlights. Uh, and then, which is okay if there's like one or two cars, it's like, okay, just get through the cars, you're done. But when there's an entire string of cars, like it gets to the point where I just want to pull off to the side of the road on the shoulder and just stop driving until they pass. Because about the third car, like it gets to the point where it just hurts too much. I cannot see what I'm doing. The pain is super bad, uh, and there's no way for me to look a different direction. So I either have to fight through the pain, or uh, or pull over and let them pass. But if the cars are never ending, that's not really an option. So it's getting to the point where I might look for a type of glasses or something I can do for night driving to reduce all that halo and glare and stuff and make it so that I can actually drive. I know sunglasses help. I know if I put my sunglasses on at night, it reduces the amount of light to the point where the halo is like little tiny thing around the light and I can actually drive. But the problem with that is I can't see my own headlights. I can't see the road in front of me. The road in front of me disappears because all the light from my headlights get filtered out. So, kind of can't do that. So, we're going to have to find us some glasses or something to fix the night driving so that I can actually drive. uh, Daytime, not it's not that big of a problem. I mean, I do see the halos even at daytime, but at daytime they're not super bright. They're not super annoying. Like I can ignore them, but at night they're super. Like I can't ignore them at night. Nope, not gonna do it. So, as for my vision, I would say. I mean, I don't really have anything to compare it to, but I would say that it's pretty much back to normal vision wise. Like I can see everything. Uh, the only time I notice that something's not right is if I look at the clock uh, on my stove or something with a light source. Because if it's blurry and I can't read it, then I know my vision isn't where it's supposed to be, and either eyes are dry or something. So, but other than that, I usually can't tell uh, when my vision is going blurry because it just goes blurry a little bit and I can still see everything perfectly fine. So usually the test, I just walk out to the kitchen and look at the stove, and if I can read the time, my sight is working perfectly fine. And if I can't, then I either have to blink or put eye drops in. So that's about it for this update. 7 weeks in, one more week to go, and then we'll hopefully halt the eye drops. I don't think I'll be able to halt them, but we'll see. I think we're gonna have to reduce them. So I will see you, well, by now in a couple of days.